Good morning, everyone. It's great to be with you this morning. I hope everyone is doing well, and thanks for taking some time to be with us this morning. I'd like to start by acknowledging Indigenous Peoples Day, and with that, I would like to read our land acknowledgement. We at the University of Wisconsin-Green Bay acknowledge the First Nations people who are the original inhabitants of the region. The Ho-Chunk Nation and the Menominee Nation are the original first people of Wisconsin, and both nations have ancient historical and spiritual connections to the land that our institution now resides upon. Today, Wisconsin is home to 12 First Nations communities, including the Oneida Nation of Wisconsin, Forest County Potawatomi, Ojibwe Nation communities, Stockbridge-Munsee Community Band of Mohican Indians, and the Brothertown Indian Nation. We acknowledge the First Nations people of Wisconsin. There'll be a celebration today and an event that occurs at 11 o'clock from 11 to 2 outside the coffee house in the Student Union if you'd like to be able to take part in that. With that, it's good to be with you this morning, and we'll get to some questions in a few minutes. I want to start first with some comments from Cheryl Van Grunsman, and then I'll make some comments before we get started. And we're also here with Corey King and our new provost, Kate Burns. So I'll turn it over to Cheryl to get started.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Just a couple of brief updates from me. Wendy Woodward, our new CIO, asked that I pass along to you that this week she is coordinating meetings with campus leaders and other technology advocates to gather information that will influence the development of our campus technology plan in support of our digital transformation efforts, as you all are aware of. So this plan will be shared across campus within the coming weeks, but just a quick note that that will be forthcoming. And second update from me this morning is every fall we update our slide on to show where we ended for our financial fund balances. We'll go ahead and be doing that in November, but I just wanted to give you a quick note that we ended on a very positive note for fiscal year 21. And so far our revenue is tracking fairly well, fairly consistently from last year as well. So we're expecting that our enrollment and our revenue will hopefully be fairly consistent to last year. So more to come in November. And any questions or comments, feel free to send those in the chat.
Thanks, Cheryl. We'll continue with a few other things here. So first of all, I just want to go backwards throughout the last few weeks, a lot of things that have happened. I want to thank everyone who participated in the day of service. We had over 500 people who participated in that day, and I appreciate everyone's work to make that happen. I know a lot of people did a lot of work to be able to set up the places that were available for us to serve. Also, many people who went out and created their own connections and did great work across the community on that day. We'll make that an annual event. So we look to do that hopefully the first Friday in October moving forward here, and invite more people to get involved in the future. It's a great way for us to do good things in the community and also to bond between faculty, staff, and students. It was really wonderful to go. I went to 4 or 5 events throughout the day, and it was really neat to see not only the work that was being done, but the way we were able to interact with each other in a way outside of the university, and to really interact with our community, I think, in profound ways. I also want to take a minute to thank everyone involved in the HLC accreditation visit that happened last week. I think the most thing I was, first of all, I want to acknowledge the work that Cliff Gagnier did and then transitioning over to Courtney Sherman and countless others who put some time in to be able to make that successful visit. It's really important that we are able to show the university well when we go through accreditation, and I'm very proud of how calm we did it, of how that we should be really proud of what's happening here, and are able to talk to the creditors, get good feedback, and then continue on our way. Hopefully we'll get good news in the coming months about the accreditation visit. Usually that happens sometime in the spring. So we'll wait and keep you updated on that. But thanks to everyone who made that possible. And finally, I want to let everybody know that as of today, we're able to get testing available, COVID testing for faculty and staff. So I hope that our faculty and staff will take advantage of that. Hopefully, if you know, if you need it, hopefully you don't need it. But it is now available, and that's available in the Wellness Center. And so if you read the communications that have come out about that, that is now available. So with that, I think we'll turn it over to Sue and begin with some questions. So Sue.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Yeah, that was the only question in the inbox so far. So I'm going to just remind everyone we're at coffee break at uwgb.edu. And that was our first question, was regarding surveillance testing for faculty and staff. And Mike, I think you mentioned that faculty and staff from all 4 campus communities could come here for testing. They do have to make an appointment through the Prevea app. But so far, that's the only question we have.
Okay, we'll wait a minute or two here. Hopefully we'll get some other questions, or it'll be a very short coffee break. Yeah, if you want to send those in to Sue, we'll wait here just a few minutes to see if we get other questions. I do want to thank everyone. I think the semester has gotten off to a really, given everything that we're dealing with, appreciate the way the semester has gotten off to a smooth start. And so lots of good things happening. I know lots of challenges, but overall, I think we're off to a good start in the semester. And so I appreciate everyone's work to make that happen.
Noteworthy that I did test the inbox, so we're just not getting questions so far today.
Yeah, well, I think I'll talk a little bit about the Board of Regents meeting that happened this past Thursday and Friday. So Kate and I were in Oshkosh for that meeting, and it was one of the great things that is about that meeting is that once again we were honored with the university was honored by having being recognized for having one of the outstanding university staff members in the UW system, and so staff member of the year that went to Monica Peinecker, and that was a really great thing to see that our staff was recognized that way, and that Monica was recognized that way for her great work. And so it was a really a proud moment for Kate and I to be there when the Regents read the citation for her to get that award, and then the beautiful speech that she gave afterward, I thought was really great. So congratulations to Monica. Sue, I think maybe we have a couple of questions in there.
Yep. So the first question, now that Kate is provost, what will be changing?
So Kate, do you want to answer that?
Sure, happy to answer that question. So right now we are moving forward with some of the follow-ups from the comprehensive program review. So thinking about things like our program review process, right? And right now we are on hold and trying to sort through that as an annual process and what the changes are going to be. So working to initiate that also now that we are done with HLC. We also have been making some initial strides towards Gen Ed revision. So more to come on that as well. So I would say working on that as well as working on setting our retention goals. So I would say things in the works coming your way soon.
Great. Okay. We just had an update, clarification regarding faculty and staff COVID surveillance testing. Just a reminder that it is in the University Union alumni rooms across from the grill and not in the Wellness Center. And then I'll read the next question. Hello, wondered why so many trees were cut down this summer around the Widener Center area.
So Cheryl, if you want to take that, I know some of this had to do with the ash trees, I believe, that were dying, but go ahead, Cheryl.
Yep. Yeah, in fact, we have a lot of ash trees that are dying or were dead. And we have many more that need to be cut down across the entire campus as well in this next year, probably in the spring. But that is the reason we have a lot of problems with some of our trees not being very healthy. So, so that is the reason.
Yeah, my understanding that's across the region. If you drive along the highway and as you hike anywhere around here, you'll see, unfortunately, a lot of the ash trees that are not doing so well. So, go ahead, Sue.
Could you share the efforts the university has made to help sophomores who were virtual students last year? As an employee and a parent of a UWGB sophomore, I haven't seen these efforts.
Go ahead, Kate, if you want to start there.
Sure, I can start us off. So right now, that is one of the pieces of our Student Success Council, is to make sure that they are looking at that for this year specifically, and thinking about kind of as a triage moment. So we are looking at ways to make sure that they are getting better supported in terms of the tutoring services and having more outreach to those courses. We also were working to have more of a welcome ceremony for those students. And so those are the ideas that are kind of out there right now, but that just to know that it is one of the focus areas for the Student Success Council for this year.
Corey, anything you want to add there?
Yeah, I would concur with Kate, and we have been working with our student affairs team with Student Engagement Center for those commuter students and those students who live in housing, specifically reaching out to our sophomore students and having more targeted programmatic efforts for them. And so far, we have seen some positive responses for that, and we are collaborating with academic affairs in this endeavor. So I concur with Kate.
Yeah, and I'll just add that this is a problem nationwide. That one of the biggest problems from a student retention perspective from the pandemic last year was we obviously were not able to engage first-time freshmen the way we normally would be able to in a normal year, and so we are now obviously playing catch up. They've been through a year, and we're trying now to do our best to make sure that we essentially, in essence, we started 2 freshman classes this year, and so it's a great comment and an astute observation, and one that I know that we're working on to try to fix. I will say, from the data that we can see from last year, we lost more than we would have liked to have lost. But we did by far better than most, and so every student matters, and the fact that we lost Annie last year is upsetting. So we're going to keep working to make sure we could retain that sophomore class as best we can. We had a very large incoming class this year, which will help long term, just to make sure that we don't feel the financial effects of that in the future as a university, like Cheryl was mentioning. But obviously, we need to retain that class very well this year as well. So, Sue?
Okay, the next question, can Chancellor address the Wisconsin Assembly passing the banning of critical race theory?
Yeah, so I really don't have I don't really have a comment on this. I think, other than to say that we 100% support academic freedom. To me, it's not an issue because I don't even know what to me, it's not an issue. So I think we're 100% behind academic freedom in the classroom. Like I said earlier last year, we hire great professors and we ask them to teach, and so that is where we are. And I see no reason why anyone should be concerned on this. The university, UW system, is 100% behind academic freedom, and know that is. I'm not sure what else to say. I think that's the best thing I could say at the moment, is that we support what you do in the classroom.
Can you speak to class sizes and EDI issues as we become an access institution?
Kate, you want to start there?
Yeah, I'm happy to start. So in thinking about the support for the open access mission, we are looking at how that's going to play out across the university, right? And so thinking about the classroom as one location for that. In looking at that, we have for the GPS program to make sure that that is integrated as part of the summer bridge program experience, so that that's really where we're going to have that foundation experience for students. And so we are looking at reducing the cap sizes for those courses to recognize that there is greater workload associated with that, especially as we are essentially onboarding those students. So that's in terms of the course size piece. You know, we do have EDI, as Dr. King has previously mentioned, is integrated within our first year seminar. So again, kind of that as that foundational experience, but I will let him jump in if he has more to say on the EDI piece as well.
Yeah, thank you, Kate. You know, and also for us, what's important is that providing those support services. So, you know, the Summer Bridge program, we're talking about continuing and actually expanding that program for our students and how we navigate, and also providing more support services once the fall semester begins and the spring semester. And we did work with Vince Lowry in the first year seminar that we now have an EDI awareness module within that first year seminar that simply talks about the ABCs of EDI. And so that's happening actually over the next couple of weeks, and we're excited about that as well. And just to note, we also just finished our campus climate survey as well. That's posted on the Inclusive Excellence website for people. And Stacy Christian, who is our interim AVC for Inclusive Excellence, will be doing some campus-wide roundtables and discussions about that. And so those things are happening, which can be also for faculty, staff, and students.
All right, in the inbox, we have a couple of shout outs to Kate, the new provost, and also congratulations to the chancellor on the installation. This next question, we had architect interviews for the library construction last week. How did that go, and when should we expect to know who has been chosen to design the new library?
Go ahead, Cheryl.
Yes, so DOA, the Department of Administration, and DFD, the Department of Facilities Development, really controls that process. So we only have a representative who served on that interview panel, but we are hoping that DOA will pick that architect within the next few weeks, hopefully by the end of October. But again, it's not something that's in our control. We'll continue to make sure that we are I guess, in communication with them to make sure that this is moving along as quickly as possible.
Yeah, just quickly to add on Charles' point, that is our primary goal, is to push the process as fast as we can push the process. Obviously, make sure it's done well while we're doing that, but we want to make sure that we are as efficient as possible in being able to move the construction forward. And the first step that is correct is that we have to have an architect that is picked to be able to do that. So we did have a chance to address the architect teams who were vying for the contract, and so that was a good step also, that at least we were able to describe exactly our vision for the building as they were choosing, so the architects knew exactly what they were bidding on. And so we'll look forward to, hopefully, as Cheryl said, the next few weeks to getting an answer there.
Well, the next question, we've gone from assessing one course program year to having each instructor assess one class each semester. This is a very large proportional increase in assessment workload. Is this a new HLC requirement, or why have we increased this element of instructor workload so much?
So I'm really happy with the work that we have. Val Arenas-Pillmeyer as our assessment coordinator right now, and I think it'll be interesting to see what we get back from HLC. You know, as we all know, we often get dinged on assessment. And so I think trying to find the right level, right, that manages the workload, but also manages the requirements that we have to have as an institution with HLC. You know, I think we'll have a better window into that in the spring when we get the report back from HLC. But, you know, overall, I've been really pleased with how Val has been able to take assessment. You know, again, I know assessment is not people's favor, but we really do need to think about, how we are documenting learning, how we are thinking about continuous improvement. And so hopefully more details in terms of the right level of that once we get a little bit more feedback from HLC in the spring as well.
All right, next question would be, what's the plan for the golf course moving forward?
Go ahead, Corey, if you want to start there.
Yeah, so great question. The plan for the golf course, at least from the students' perspective, is that we're in the process of transitioning to a student engagement center, which will also include outdoor adventure. And so Matt Sawaski and Jeff Kroger, who is our two leads on that from our University Union student engagement area and from the University Rec. And so having a student activities type of center where we will have retreats and programs and events for students, and having also a hub or incubator for our outdoor adventures program is where we're headed right now in a 12 to 18 month type of integration.
Yeah, I'm also, to add to what Corey's saying, very excited about, the opportunity that we may have to be able to hopefully add a cross-country ski trail, a cross-country trail for our cross-country team, and also be able to use that in the winter, hopefully, as a Nordic ski trail that would go through there. And I would also say that very pleased to learn from from the Conference Center Biodiversity that we have an oak savanna that has grown up from where the golf course was, which apparently is a very rare ecological thing in Wisconsin, and it's a really great thing to learn that has been allowed to come up as a result of us switching what we're using the golf course for. A lot of great work happening in an outdoor rec to be able to get this going and moving quickly. I think you're going to see a lot of changes very fast there, and hopefully that's going to really be a great part of campus that we can all, and particularly our students, and a bunch of our students will be able to really enjoy. They're really clamoring for this type of activity.
About the trees, will some of the trees removed be replaced with new trees?
I don't have an answer for that right now. We do have a lot of trees on our campus already, so it's important that we take a look at the entire campus in our master planning process and be intentional about what we do when we add and remove trees. So probably not at this time, is my answer at this point.
The next question, what is the university doing to provide additional financial literacy opportunities for our students? We have emergency grant programs available to students which help for emergency situations. However, long-term financial independence should be the goal. What departments are taking this on? Who is coordinating with K-12 schools to learn what information they are providing?
So Kate, go ahead if you want to start, and then I don't know if we're probably both going to say the same thing about what's going on in the conference school, but go ahead if you want to start.
Yeah, I can start us off. So we are excited that we have a personal financial planning as a new minor that has started this fall. So both in terms of the curricular aspect, but then also collaborating with enrollment services to be able to offer workshops and programming for students to be able to better understand financial planning. We agree that this is one of those lifelong skills that we want students to be able to have. And we're really excited that we have Dr. Preston Cherry to be able to collaborate and to offer his expertise. And Mike, feel free to say more here.
Yeah, I think one of the other things is that we will have hopefully by January, we will have a physical space that is dedicated to this also in Wood Hall. So right next to the Willie Davis Financial Investment Trading Lab is going to be the room for the Center for Personal Finance. And that's a huge step for us. So it's a way not only to help educate our students, but hopefully long-term to also educate our community, be a community resource, and to add that minor is a great thing. So something that I'm exceptionally proud of, that in 1 year of having Dr. Cherry here, what he's been able to do is pretty remarkable to get that off the ground and running. And so I think we're making great strides in that area, and agree with the question 100% that this is a moral obligation that we have as an institution, and vitally important for us to be able to achieve our access mission. So we must get good at providing this training. It's really important for our students to be able to be successful.
We are making strides towards reclaiming the title of EcoU, and an educational research living laboratory would be a fabulous addition to the design. Has anyone discussed the possibility of adding a peregrine nest directly into the design of the building with the architects who are bidding on the project?
So we haven't gotten to that point yet. First, we have to pick the architect, and then I think we can start having that conversation. But yes, we are absolutely aware about the Falcons, and we'll work obviously to do the best we can to make sure that is part of this. I know also that we'll work to work on a plan to make sure that while the building is being built, they also have a home on our campus.
And this next one is an invitation by Daniela Bial, our new sustainability coordinator, to contact her for those who are interested in talking about trees and ecosystems. You can find her at beall@uwgb.edu or on the sustainability website.
Yeah, Sue, could I just say really quick, that's a great comment. Whoever made that, we are really lucky to get Daniela here, and she's doing fantastic work. So if you get a chance, she's working really closely with John Arndt, who's also done a great job here for a long time in this area, and we just now, it's fantastic to see what's happening on the Sustainability Committee, and we're really trying to build energy here, and if you have ideas and want to get involved, please connect to Daniela, like was mentioned there. And I think it's with all the things we have going on in sustainability environment, you could, at least from my perspective, you could feel the energy really building there, which is great given our history as a university and given the importance of that issue in the world.
Okay. And any more updates on the timeline and logistics of the future Coffin Research Center library? For instance, have any decisions been made on where staff and books will go temporarily and which offices will remain in the new Coffin Research Center?
Yeah, this is a great question, and there's two things that I'll say, and then Cheryl, if you want to fill in here, I think would be great. That one is that we're being a little careful with what we are promising on how the timeline of all this, because it's largely out of our control. So as Cheryl mentioned, the Department of Administration, it's a fully state-funded building. That means that it's fully state-funded and fully state-controlled on how that timeline goes. So we're going to push as hard as we can push. We do have initial plans for all the things that were mentioned, but we obviously need to talk to the architect that is being picked right now. That's going to be a big piece of how this goes forward. And so, Cheryl, do you want to add to that?
No, I think that's a really good summary, Mike. I really don't have anything else to add, and we haven't even started the process yet. So we expect that design process will take at least a year, just to give you some frame of reference. So it'll probably be at least, probably 4 years before the building is built and finished is my guess. It's very complex with this library as well, just so everybody is aware with our underground tunnel system. It's a much more complex project than a typical building a new building. We have to tear this one down, deal with utility tunnels, and then, decide on an exact new space. So I expect this one will take just a little bit longer than the norm.
Is there going to be any further update on the body that was found? Not so much as what happened, but as a way to ease students' concerns for safety.
So Cheryl, I don't know if you want to give the latest and then I'll fill in from there.
Yeah, no, this is, we have the investigation is being managed by Green Bay Police. So our campus police have turned that over to them completely. So we are deferring any questions to the Green Bay Police. And that's all we can say at this time.
Yeah, and I just want to add that I want to thank our police for the way they handled this. They did a remarkable job, and so I want to thank what they did. And as Cheryl mentioned, as soon as we're able to, there's really nothing we can comment on. It has nothing to do with the university. So it's in the hands of the Green Bay Police. There's really nothing we can comment on.
Can you speak to any plans to increase class sizes in courses in areas of campus other than GPS? How large do we anticipate those being, and what factors will be considered in setting them?
Yes, I guess just to clarify, so we were decreasing the cap for GPS, not for increasing it. So we have been trying to take a look at our course caps intentionally, and a lot of our practices with course caps were based on kind of artifacts of the past. Thinking about like our online course caps, those were capped the same way when we used to have an adult degree program. We no longer have an adult degree program, and so we're trying to look at best practices for the types of pedagogies that are happening within those classrooms to be able to inform those decisions. So the deans and I have put together a document with some overarching guidelines. I know the deans are talking with the chairs about that and faculty as well. But so we are really trying to look at what makes sense based on the type of courses, and it is different, right? Whether it's a lab or a large introductory class, or more of a specific to the major. So I would say your dean in your chair would be the best person to talk to in terms of the details there.
And if I could just build just for a second on what Kate is saying, I think it's just really important what she just said and the work that she's doing along with the deans to be able to help us to move forward here. So there are economic realities in modern higher education, and being incredibly efficient with how you offer and the number of people you put in a class matters. It matters a ton. And it matters for us to be able to do all the things that I think the faculty and staff and students want. It doesn't mean we have to necessarily raise numbers of students in all classes. Like, that's not what we're trying to do, but efficiency in how we offer our classes is vitally important. And so that's a really great question, and I know lots of continued discussion that will occur there, and lots of important work for us to do moving forward on this. I know, and I know Kate's having great conversations with the deans about that.
Another comment about the Coffin Library. Will the library be built with bird-friendly glass? There's a lot of evidence that birds hit windows and are killed on campus. It would be nice if our new buildings would be constructed with bird-friendly glass to minimize the bird hits, given the window kills are a main reason birds are declining.
Yeah, this is a great comment, not something that certainly I thought of, so I think we'll take that into consideration as we start the conversation with the architect. It's a great comment.
Okay. And what are we doing as an institution to increase the vaccination rate of our student body and bring us closer and beyond system's 70% goal?
Go ahead, Corey, if you want to start.
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you very much. We are working with the Dean of Students Office and with Housing and Residential Education, as well as our Student Engagement Center, to work with our commuter students. We have put in place the 70-70 program that the system has indicated with incentives, and so through various emails and texting and in our halls, sometime door to door. I am pleased that we are currently at about 63% vaccination rate for our students, and of course our goal is 70%. So at this point, we're looking to get even more personalized and drawing up some lists where we can make some personal phone calls and outreach, myself and the Chancellor and others, to engage in that. And so we feel good about that. And the other piece of it is the Packers, our Green Bay Packers, have provided some incentives as well. And so we're using those incentives. And so I feel like we're in a good place in what we're doing, but looking more now for that more personalized approach to get us to 70%.
Yeah, a couple of things to build on what Corey is saying. So Corey, I don't know if you have the exact numbers in the dorms. I know we're over 70% now in the residence halls.
That is correct. I believe we're about 72% in the resident halls.
And then to Corey's point also about the commuter students, and I'm very proud of us. I think we've made the right decision here. We've been very intentional about how we are asking the question about vaccination, that we're requiring proof of vaccination. We're not just asking students to let us know if they're vaccinated. That has held down our numbers. We know that there are lots of students that are vaccinated. They just haven't told us. They have not been willing to submit the proof of that vaccination. That's what we're requiring to count someone as being vaccinated. Same thing that's happening in the faculty and staff. We have good numbers on faculty and staff, but we know there's about 150 or more of our faculty and staff we've not heard from yet to know whether or not they're vaccinated. We're assuming many of them are. They just haven't submitted the proof of vaccination, so we're not counting it in our numbers. So our numbers do look lower, but we also know that our numbers are at the bare minimum of what is vaccinated. We're not just taking people's word if they say that they've been vaccinated.
With the current chief retiring, what is the plan to create an equitable search and screen to include the voices of students, staff, and faculty, and what is the timeline?
Oh, thanks for that question. And in fact, I need to be posting something to blog about that, so I apologize. So we have begun the search for the next police chief. Christopher Paquette is chairing that search for me, and we've developed a search and screen committee that with several constituents representing the panel, from students, faculty, governance, all areas that really work directly with the police department. The search will be closing very soon. I don't think the pool is large, but I think we have some good candidates in there. And we will likely be having some form of potentially an open forum or a presentation. I'm not sure yet about that, but we definitely have, we'll have some time set aside for students and other key stakeholders to meet with the candidates on campus. And expect that timeline to be, we expect to have a new chief hired by early December, as Chief Jones will be retiring by mid-December. So we'll have some time for overlap, hopefully.
Right. I saw a document indicating that online course caps would be going from 40 to 80. Will those teaching online during the summer or January terms receive a commensurate pay increase?
Yeah, so to follow up on that question, so for the course caps, as I said before, so we had used previously 40 from adult degree, and we had used that across the board, regardless of the type of course. So what we have done now is we have looked at how the workload for courses scale based on the type of pedagogy that you use, right? And so thinking about certain courses, you have high impact practices, certain courses you don't, right? Certain courses you have more of a lecture and multiple choice exam, and other courses it's essay, it's writing. And so we have looked at to try to compensate for the workload for courses that are significantly larger in person. So courses that are at 200, 120, and to take a percentage of that course so that those courses are lower when they are online than the in-person amount percentage-wise, but that it's going to scale based on what that in-person to online. So it's not just an across-the-board online course caps are going to be the same, but trying to look at that relative workload in comparison. So again, encouraged to talk with the dean and the chair for the more specifics on it, but that's kind of the rationale, is to kind of try to look at those types of courses, the types of learning and the opportunities involved within those courses.
Okay. The next question, will booster shots be available on campus to eligible people? And will we know if we are eligible or what the determination will be?
So this is a good question. Unfortunately, we can't, as a university, get involved there. So, even last year when we worked on the vaccination sites on campus, what we did is we facilitated the ability for Prevea to be able to be here to give those vaccinations. We didn't actually give them ourselves. So we have to work with the community here, and unfortunately, you'll have to work with your healthcare provider and your doctor to determine whether or not a booster is the right step and where you would get that. we've asked, we've been very proactive, in fact, in asking and on offering if there are ways as a university we can get involved to help make sure that if the community needs a service that we're available to provide it, and we've yet to have anybody take us up on that. So we'll continue to be ready in the event that that someone asks us to be able to build up a more large-scale testing or vaccination site.
Okay. And a related question, are you going to require faculty and staff to be vaccinated?
So at the moment, we are unable to do so. And so I think that's the best answer I could give right now, is that the answer right now is no.
All right. That is the final question in the inbox. Again, I will remind people sometimes there's a delay, and if you send some questions in, I send them anonymously and still try to get you an answer after coffee break. But for now, that's the last one.
Great, thanks, Sue. I do want to thank everyone for taking some time this morning to be with us. I think these are important ways. I know as we continue to navigate all the complexities that are happening, not only in the world, but certainly in our state and in higher education, it's important for these questions to come in. It hopefully helps us to hear one answer as best we can across the university. We'll have another one of these next month, and so we'll look forward to that. And we'll continue to work on doing our best to communicate across campus with all the issues that are going on. I do want to take just 1 second again to thank everyone for what they're doing, to know that we continue, I guess 2 things. One, that we should continue to feel proud of the direction the university is going. But second, I know that there's still a lot of complexity in the world and a lot of things that are not easy right now. So to thank you for the work that you're doing to navigate through that, and hopefully that you keep in mind always that the goal of what we have as an institution is to educate students. Right, and that all of our energy, or as much of our energy as possible, should be put behind that. And as we deal with difficult issues, to continue to raise those, and let's continue to converse about how we can best solve them. And at the end of the day, hopefully, what keeps everybody going is the desire and the to help students. Right, and to just encourage everyone to stay focused on that. That matters. It matters in our retention. It matters in how we're operating as a university. So as I say that, I just got to note that there's one more question. So we'll take that and then we'll wrap up.
Yeah, there's a shout out to the University Police, who were nominated for the Board of Regents University Staff Excellence Award. Thanks for letting us know that, and great job. And the question is, has the Joint Committee on Employee Relations approved the pay plan proposed of 2% and 2% for January of 22 and January of 23?
They have not. And so we are waiting for that to we're waiting for that to happen before we can announce that officially. So it's in the budget. We have to wait, obviously, for that group to be able to officially approve it. So we'll let you know as soon as that happens. It's a great question. So thank you all very much. Great to be with you this morning. I hope you're all doing well, and look forward to seeing everybody soon. So have a great day.